Hey, good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you.
All right, I can hear you too. Hey, it's episode number 410.
Yeah.
And for those of you that toke in 10 more episodes, you can toke it up all you want, but I won't. Welcome to 420.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that even a thing anymore? Now that it's legal everywhere?
That's all I hear anymore. Oh, 420, man, 420. So
wasn't that the actual drug charge?
I've heard multiple things. Supposedly in an article I read, this is from the 70s. There was a group of high schoolers that were basically hanging out with the Grateful Dead, and it's like around 71, 72. And the reason that they say 420 and they got picked up was they got out of school and they were like, hey, I'll meet you at 420. And that was their code for smoking weed. So
there you go.
Yep. So that's why I read an article on that. So I think that's probably the most logical reason.
Yeah.
So
see, to those who don't know, Brett is my human Google.
Yeah. And there's things like, you got 187, and if you got a high school going, hey, see you at 187, that means you're going to kill somebody.
Oh, really?
Well, 187 is murder in LA. So they made movies on it. They've used it in a bunch of stuff. It's not everywhere. So,
yeah,
you come here to Van Buren Township and say, hey, someone committed a 187. It was probably littering or something like that,
Yeah.
So what's going on, Scott? How you been?
Doing good. We had a busy week. Got another deal accepted, so that's good. So helping another buyer get a house. So that's been good, and been ramping up my runs, getting back into my old running shape, my pre-heart attack shape. So that's been feeling good.
So you're doing the Tom Cruise,
Yeah, I can't run like that. I just saw a little interview with what's his name, Jay Moore.
Yeah.
And he was talking about when he worked with Tom Cruise on a set of something, and he asked Tom Cruise a question on behalf of his dad who races cars, and he's like, "What gear did you use in this turn? Because you always do the turn without crashing." So Tom Cruise answers him. Well, then a couple months later, he's working with Tom Cruise, and he's like, he sees out of the corner of his eye this movement, and he looks, and doing the full Tom Cruise run is Tom Cruise doing the Tom Cruise full sprint. He's like, he runs across this giant field. He's like, he's not even breathing heavy. And then he's like, hey, that turn your dad was asking about, what gear does he use? And he's like, how does he remember that from months ago? And then he's like sprinting out of nowhere.
Yeah. Tom Cruise he's got to be a form of autistic because of it's like an eidetic memory. He remembers, it seems like everything. So he talks about them all.
Yeah.
And then the way he runs, stuff like that. I don't know. I think, and it's not even autism. It's like, if you hear autism, people want to think negative right away. And it's not, because a lot of times with autism, people have can have the enhanced whatever. They're almost like savants. Savants are technically autistic. So,
yeah.
But that was Jay Moore. That was on the set of Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Because Jay Moore played another agent. And that's someone that we don't see a lot of. I know,
he does a lot of podcasts. I don't know if it's his own podcast.
He's a comedian. He used to do stand-up, and I know he's doing some podcasting now. But movies for a while. In the 90s, he was kind of all over for a little bit.
Have you ever seen the one on a podcast where he talks about when he met Christopher Walken and he had his dog with him? Oh my God, look it up. It is classic.
Yeah, I haven't listened to as much of his podcast, so I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I like hearing his stories. He was Saturday Night Live too, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think that's where he got.
I know he hosted. Pretty sure he hosted it.
I think he used to be a regular on Saturday Night Live for a while.
I don't remember that.
I don't think anyone does.
I
think he was on the same time.
Don't see that list
from. No. Oh, okay.
No. He wouldn't have been that far back. Because he's how old is he? He's like my age. So when Elaine was on, that was the early 80s.
Was it?
Yeah. So let's see here. I don't think he. Oh wait, he was. Yeah, 93 to 95. So it was in the 90s.
Yeah, it was a brief.
He was. I don't think he got a ton of time on there. So.
Yeah, he didn't last long. He because I thought I had heard him talk about how cutthroat it is behind the scenes, and don't share your ideas because someone will steal it.
Oh yeah. There's all
Yeah.
kinds. It's you hear that even from the guys that you think are the most successful. They were kind of like, yeah, fighting with the writers to get stuff done. We had to write our own stuff. I mean, that's where Adam Sandler really took off. Was he had to really create his own stuff. Him and Snyder and all the guys. It's like they want to write. The writers say, "Oh, we like this or that," and then people would pitch stuff. Oh, so they go back and write it anyways. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's hardcore sale, and you're pitching the product, and at the same time, you are the product.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Hey, I got you, we'll get going on some more stuff.
All right. Well, it's Team Titans Real Estate. You know the deal. We do real estate. We help you buy and sell houses. But what makes us different is we're there for you. Like I just mentioned a bit ago, we just had a deal we did. The key, though, to that deal was there's a couple elements involved to make a successful negotiation. Part of it is you, the potential buyer. You have to be available. If it's a good house, they don't last long. And if you're going to take a couple days to decide if you want to see it or whatever else, it's a lot of times buyers who have they're a little more indecisive. By the time they decide they want to see a house, it's already pending. It's already for sale or off the market and no longer for sale. So you got to move quick, but you also need a realtor who moves quick. There are many realtors out there who are actually boast about how they only work daytime hours. They turn their phone off at night and on weekends, which I can't fathom how you are in the industry when you do that. We are available. So this one deal, I found a house just as it hit the market. The buyers were available, so we hurried up and went and looked at it. They listened to my advice on how to structure the deal. A lot of times buyers will want to listen to their own advice or some family member's advice. They listened. We were negotiating 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. I was on the phones. And we came to a verbal agreement Sunday night. Monday morning, everything was signed. We were able to do all this before a bidding war started with other clients. And this was a nice house. I personally have no doubt there would have been a bidding war. But because our buyer listened to our advice, we made just good enough offer where the seller was like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. We're going to take this. We're going to cancel the upcoming showings. So we know the market. We buy and sell a lot of houses on behalf of our clients. And we know the trends. We know the values. So it helps when you're responsive, when we're responsive, and people follow our advice. We really are working in your best interest. So anyways, if you want realtors who work hard for you, whether it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night or 4th of July, 4th of July, we were recently negotiating a deal on that one too, and we successfully got that. So if you want realtors who are there for you, give us a call. I'm posting the number in there, 586-232-5144, and that's myself and Jill Webler. We want to help you out. There you go.
Well, all right.
Did they take all the little icons on the bottom of the screen? They took the words off.
Yeah, they changed it. I hate that.
Let's
It's
see.
like everything's gone to symbols. It's like, well, not everybody reads English. Yeah, well, I do.
I know. I hate. Why do we have to have hieroglyphics? It's just like when you buy furniture and you have to assemble. No more written instructions. You have to
now
pull out an old Egyptian translation guide for hieroglyphics.
So let me do this. Let me see if I can.
I just realized I didn't bring my coffee in here. I'm gonna go grab my coffee real quick.
All right, you do that, and then when you come back, I'll teach you how to do this thingy real quick. While he's got you. See, I brought my tea, my iced tea, because it's hot out there. It's gonna be hot out there. Because we're gonna cool down here in Michigan. It's gonna be like in the low 80s, which is nice considering it's been like 90s with smoke from the wildfires up in Canada, which I was told isn't real. That's not really smoke in Canada coming down. They're pumping it in the air, but I believe it is. It smells like smoke. But I got my tea. And my tea tastes good. So, all right, get your coffee.
Got my coffee. Now I can function.
All right, so we're going to have a double of us. So there's us.
Whoa.
Way down there.
The infinity screen.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, see if I can do this, take it large. And then just watch the bottom one, very bottom one there. What I like is you hit that arrow, and it gives us, we can change our default speakers or microphones. Oh. And then here, you can go in and change the webcam stuff and do the settings. So I like that. It just got rid of what that is. So there's your to mute yourself, to take off your screen, and then to add a page is the one right there. And if you want to add a guest, and then there's settings. So they are doing a lot of interesting things with that. So
yeah,
yeah,
very cool.
so I'll remove that. So,
I
but
didn't see those drop down things.
yeah,
Nice.
So it always change stuff on the StreamYard that we're using.
Yeah.
And that so we will keep going, I guess, figure it all out. Yeah, it's even though it moved. I'm using 2 screens, so I switched my screens up. So my drawing tablet is a big screen, of course. So I started using that a while back to do the show and other stuff. This way I'm not always looking up like this at the other screen back here. I can go here and I kind of go back and forth between the two anyways. So I can have some information up here. So, I need to get like 18 more screens. Like in a giant futuristic cockpit or something.
I think it also, let's see. Ooh, backgrounds. I can change out my background.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
It looks weird though, because it like the gaps here.
Right.
Blur. Do a blur.
Yep. And I know a lot of people use that on like Zoom and things like that. They blur out their background, they blur out where they're at.
Yeah.
Or they change it entirely. Especially when they're going like on TV or something. They want people to see their wherever. So
yeah, my top secret information.
Yeah.
But then you get this weird effect, like it starts cutting things off weird.
Yeah. But if you have you still need an actual green screen behind you for it to work properly.
Right.
So it still works, but it's not the same.
It does a good job for what it is. It's in live time and stuff.
Right. So it's all AI generated, I'm sure.
Yeah, AI is taking over. Speaking of which, last night there was a Chat GPT outage.
Oh my God. How did the teens survive?
Well, I was watching this thing and it's actually kind of scary. I guess there's a huge thing where people under, I don't know if it's 25, 30 years old, roughly that age group and under, they consider Chat GPT their actual friend. Like they are having full-blown constant conversations with it. And so like when it goes down, they actually have like withdrawal issues or something.
Wow.
It's
like that movie Her I told you about the other
week. It is. Yeah, we had just talked about that. That's what made me think of it when I saw that thing. I'm like, man, like people need to get out and start talking to real humans.
Yeah.
So anyways. Yeah, so I'm sure there was a huge segment of the population that suddenly felt friendless because ChatGPT went down. But yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how many people. It's like you got to find something to get out and go just even if you have trouble. I don't like talking to people. Just go be around people. You don't have to talk to them. Just go be around people and start. That's your first step to trying to get out there more.
Be around people and get out of your house.
Yeah.
Even for myself, I started noticing myself in kind of a funk, and that kind of helped propel me to push myself to go back out running and getting that. And I feel so much better just a few weeks into getting outside, getting my, dose of vitamin D from the sun and all that stuff. And it's such a difference mentally than always being in your room all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand that, and it is like that, and it's just tough. You got to get out there and socialize a little bit, get to know people. So, and
we should tease for those. Yeah, we should tease too. A little bit later in the show, we're going to be having a full discussion on this new Superman movie. So stay tuned if you want to hear that.
We'll let you know ahead of time because we'll probably talk a little in depth on it, and it'll be spoilers.
Maybe we'll do a little spoiler free up front, and then we'll go into full spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, you can tune out.
Well, before we get started, I just saw where there is a new trailer for Stranger Things 5.
Yes.
So we should take
a
look
at this. I have not seen it yet. I was hoping you were going to pull it up.
Yep. So, and this way we
reactions.
Yep. So here's full screen of that.
This is the final season, correct?
Correct. And what they're doing is it's like three separate releases in December. They're doing part 1, I think early December. I think they'll probably have it here. Then like Christmas Eve is part 2. Then the finale, so it's like probably a 2-hour finale, is going to be New Year's Eve. So the month of December will be, it's either November, December is right in that last part there. So let's play this and see what we got.
Burn commencing in 5, 4, 3. Come on. 2. And.
After what we've been through, this thing. It ties us together forever.
Wherever this blood leads.
I need you to fight one last time. Let's end this, kid.
Look out!
Found you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did I see Linda Hamilton in there or Terminator mom?
Yeah, Linda Hamilton. Yeah.
Linda Hamilton. Did I see her in that trailer?
You know what? I was wondering who someone was, so I'm going to Google it. Yep, she's in season 5. Yep, I thought it was her.
Okay, I thought that was her.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's going to save the world again.
Yep. It looks good. It looks like they really they didn't skimp on the budget, so not holding back anything. And we know it's they had always talked about 5 seasons and then doing a couple movies or something like that. But with the
to wrap
COVID,
it up or something,
COVID delays and things like that. So I mean, as you can see, they're all of them. If you go look at season 4 to 5, I mean, it's been a few years, so they have definitely all aged.
Well, for a whole arc, I believe David Harbour said he's like, I've been playing this character for 10 years now because he's like, it's only been a few seasons, but it's a 10-year arc of my life. So these kids, they're all you go back
Millie
10
Bobby
years,
Brown
there's a
is
big difference.
Millie Bobby Brown's not married,
21?
and she's 21 going on 22, and
How old is she now?
So, and I think all of them are like at least 20s. So
yeah. So that's a big age time where you go through rapid changes physically. So they look, but they've done a good job of being able to move the story. Having it in these arcs where it accounts for the age changes and stuff.
Yeah, and they're supposed to have addressed that in this one too. How many years have passed or how much time has passed in that. But
she was born in 2004, so she's 21.
Yeah. So, but they're releasing 4 episodes on Thanksgiving weekend, 3 on Christmas, and then the finale is New Year's Eve. And it each says it'll drop at 5 p.m. Pacific time,
Yeah.
according to a Hollywood Reporter. So that's 8 o'clock our time, which isn't too late, but it's like, okay, that's nice,
Mm-hmm.
So definitely looking forward to seeing that. I've been a fan of it since the first one, and I want to see how they wrap up things with this, as well as some looming questions like, where's Susie? Is Susie in this? Is she still gonna be around? And
Yeah.
because of Dustin's girlfriend who looks like Phoebe Cates.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll see. It looks pretty good. I'm excited.
Yep, looking forward to that. We have I'm a little bummed. Dexter Resurrection just started, but turns out I don't pay enough. I have Paramount Plus, but I don't have the premium Paramount Plus, so
Well,
I
you have
can't
to have
watch it.
Showtime is what it is.
Well, that's what I have. Well, whatever I have, I have to upgrade the subscription. I have the one that allows me to see their basic programming, but not their premium program. I'm like,
okay.
God. Are you kidding me? So if I pay an extra $10 a month, I can watch Dexter. I'm like, come on. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. Maybe I'll do a 7-day free trial when it's done.
Well, the add-on is because it's Showtime is what they're adding on for you when they do that. So you have to do that. I would if you wait till it's done, then go ahead and, like I said, just get it for a month and binge it. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'm going to do now. But I did finish up. Let's see. I was watching a show called The Glass Dome. I finished that series up. I liked it. It was good. Like I said, it's a foreign one, so the pacing is a little different. But I liked it. I liked how that ended. So I thought that was worth a watch. It's just a one season. Then after that, to keep my dark crime thing going, I started watching a series called The Sinner. Bill Pullman's in it. Jessica Biel.
Okay.
They've got like 3 or 4 seasons out now. I've watched season 1 this past week. That was another one, kind of slow moving, but it was interesting. My only disappointment with all these is it's like, because it's streaming, it's like, oh, well, we can be as raunchy as we want and I feel like they go too far. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. Sometimes it's better to imply things than have to show it. And, kind of like the lesson Steven Spielberg learned in Jaws. Thankfully, the shark was broken, so he was forced to be more ominous about the shark. And it turned out to be the best decision he made. I think sometimes less is more. So that's the only part I don't like. Some of the stuff they push too far. But outside of that, the story itself was interesting. So I'm going to watch season 2 now. It looks like each season, if I'm understanding it correctly, each season the Bill Pullman character is investigating a new case.
Okay.
So each season is its own case. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So I started watching. I only watched a couple episodes so far, but it's on its second season with a third season coming soon. It's The Diplomat with Kerry Russell.
Oh, that's one that's on my to watch list down the road there. I have that on my list.
Yeah,
how is it?
It's not too bad. It's interesting how they're doing some things. She plays a diplomat, and she's supposed to be heading off to Kabul, and then some things are going on, and I don't want to get too much because it kind of sets up everything. But and then she has a husband in this too, which
he used to be the ambassador or something, right?
Yep, he was an ambassador. He's still treated as an ambassador. Played by Rufus Sewell. I remember him from the movie The Holiday. He's done a ton of stuff over the years. He was in A Knight's Tale. So he goes back. He always, and he was, they say, I think he was that one knight that was really just an asshole. But that's what he plays. I think in everything he ever see him, and he comes across, he always plays an asshole. It's kind of what it is, it's just, and he plays it well. And so I'm wondering, like, he must be like a really nice guy, but he just comes across as these characters as always a bit slimy. And I think it's meant to be. And that's why they hire him for these roles and things like that. So I kind of like him in this. I mean, it's interesting, some of the banter, things like that they've got going on as they're dealing with this political intrigue. things that they're setting up, and then it's like they're trying to. She's kind of being groomed. She's a diplomat, but she's kind of being groomed to eventually be probably like the next vice president or something like that. So,
Right.
they're working to, and even her husband is kind of part of that, where there's certain things they're trying to do to elevate her. Then they also do other stuff that's, you see, it's like, okay, they did this like Vogue shoot. It feels kind of weird, but you're seeing more than just what's going on the world stage that they're dealing with, but also on the political stage, as we see what politicians do to kind of get their stuff out there. So yeah, it's worth checking out. I haven't finished the first season, so I'll know more if I want to continue after that. But so far, I've enjoyed the first couple episodes. So
Yeah. You mentioned like that one actor, like every time you see him, he's playing like that same role for everything. I just saw a video montage about James Marsden and how he's like the ultimate cuck in movies. Every movie he's in, he's the guy who's dating the girl who the girl then leaves, cheats on him and leaves. Like they're going through in X-Men, Wolverine takes this girl. In the one where Enchanted, the guy takes the girl.
Now in Sonic, the guy didn't take the girl, but he kind of gets dragged along. But he's also in Hop. Hop and Sonic are the same movies but different characters. But did you watch him in Paradise?
Paradise,
the series Paradise. I don't think I
saw that one.
You need to see Paradise. Paradise came out last year. It's on Disney Plus.
You mentioned this one before.
Oh, yes. Very good. In fact, one of the signing things I'm trying to get for San Diego is a signing with the cast of Paradise. Very good.
Was he cheated on in this movie?
No, but he plays the president. And and what I liked about it was it wasn't the same James Marsden we see in everything else, like Sonic, Hop, and Enchanted. He's always playing he plays very similar characters, always feels like, and I think this one here is more drama based. There's things like that. He's kind of the premise of the series is the president gets killed. So right away, James Marsden's character gets killed, but he's in the entire season because they deal with all the flashbacks that help tell the story, and you basically learn more about who he is as it goes on. It was really good. Look at season 2. They just finished filming. Should come out around January, February, I believe.
Cool.
It
I'll
also
watch that and get caught up then.
Yeah, it also stars Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us. Sarah Shahi.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, Sarah Shahi's been around for a long time. Seen her in a bunch of stuff. Gerald McCraney's in it. As well as some other people that have been kind of here and there you recognize in that, but definitely worth checking out. I liked every episode. I liked the way the story went. They drop little foreshadowing hints here and there of things that you don't really think about till they happen, and they're like, oh, they kind of mentioned that or this or that.
Yeah,
but definitely worth checking out.
I have with the what's his name? What is it? Sterling Brown. I don't know if it's because of This Is Us or because it's just how he looks. He doesn't look right without glasses to me. Now, in the show This Is Us, he had glasses, so that's how I was introduced to him. So every time, like probably for me too, if I walk around with no glasses on, people who always see me with glasses probably think I look weird. So it's like every time I see him, like, he needs glasses.
I guess I'll leave that at you, man. But he's great in this too, and I would say highly, when you're looking for your next thing to watch, check out Disney Plus for Paradise.
Cool. I'll have to put that on my watch list because you mentioned that before, and I was intrigued.
Yeah. Kevin turned me on to it last year, and I ended up zipping through it pretty quick. And I'll probably rewatch it before the second season comes out because there's just it seems like a lot of things that they're probably hinting at in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I said basically, the president's dead. But the other thing is they're also underground because the world was ending, and they knew it was going to happen, so they built a giant town under a mountain. And when you see it, this town, it looks real, and then you realize that it's not. So, and only so many people are there, so they can only save so many people. It's just like everything we see with any disaster movie. They from a couple of the meteor movies that we're going underground and everybody's trying to get in there and they won't let them in. Right. Well, the same thing here. So
limited space.
Yep. And so, and there's a
I
lot
am
of different intrigue going on within there as they're investigating the president's murder.
okay. I am looking forward to seeing James Marsden next year, as he'll be in Avengers Doomsday as Cyclops.
Oh, nice.
So I can't remember if it was like officially announced or like, you know, how people get like behind the scene photos and they saw him there, but it is listed on IMDb that he's in it. So that's on his upcoming list. So I just don't remember how the announcement came out.
Yeah.
But
it's confirmed. He's announced to be in that.
yeah,
So leaked
that's cool.
set photos showing him with Ian McKellen's Magneto. So maybe with that Doomsday and that, then they're tying in the original 3 X-Men movies,
Right.
And that might be how they're going to introduce the mutant into the new MCU. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a lot of things I liked about the original 3 X-Men movies, and one of the things I liked his character, way he portrayed Cyclops. You know, I liked different people. They just, by the 3rd film, it became the Wolverine show, and it took away from, I think, the rest of the X-Men. So
well, the biggest problem there was I agree with your assessment there, but the other problem is all they had to do is an ounce of effort for continuity. They like. The movies never had continuity with each other. Like one movie, a certain character is very young. The next one, she's a full-grown adult. It was like, and things didn't tie in with previous movies. It's like, you just had to spend a little time for accuracy.
Yeah.
It's like, it didn't make sense, but
yeah. So, well, you know, it was interesting on a lot of stuff, you know, and then that kind of leads a little bit. I guess we get started a little bit on Superman here. So, spoilers, everybody. If you've not seen it, don't want to know anything, we'll see you next week.
Here, quick spoiler free for the people who want to hear our opinion on a spoiler free.
Oh, go ahead.
Quick spoiler free. Me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I give it me and Brett talked yesterday. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was good enough to see once. Probably won't ever watch it again. There are clips that if I see it online, like little reels where like little 2-minute segments, I'll probably watch those again because there are parts that were fun and nice. Overall, it's a one and done for me. Worth seeing at a $5 Tuesdays price. I think there's potential for this building a good foundation for future movies. We'll see where they go. There was some weak parts to it too. And the only other thing I'll say is there is a mid-credit and a post-credit scene. Neither are, if you don't feel like staying there, there's nothing vital to those scenes to stay for.
Yeah, there's no big leading up to or anything like that. So
yeah, they're more like cut scenes.
Yeah.
So that's my quick review for spoiler free.
Yeah, I'm just gonna just say I didn't hate the movie because I keep hearing this like, well, you either love it or hate it. I didn't hate it. I definitely was disappointed in the overall story.
Mm-hmm.
I do give it about 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I liked it better than the Brandon Routh Superman, but I like Brandon Routh a lot as Superman, so I don't want to negate him as the actor in that because that was all story on the Superman Returns that I didn't like. And this one here, similar problem I have is similar is based on story. So,
yeah. As far as the actors go, I shouldn't say actors, the characters. As far as the characters go, most disappointing was probably Lex Luthor. He came across more as an erratic, spoiled brat than he did a super genius in my mind. The other characters, my biggest surprise is how much I liked Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific. Both of them I thought were great as characters. And then David, how do you say it? Cornsweet? Something
like that, yeah.
I thought he was a good Superman. I thought he embodied I thought this was a good take on Superman in the vein of the Christopher Reeve mold.
Okay.
With where there's hope and optimism in him. Like I said, I think there's a good foundation. We'll see where they take it. You know, they could ruin it or they could make it better.
Yeah, there's some things they need to fix though in the next one. We'll get into that in spoilers. So.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess that's the spoiler-free part.
There you go.
So,
now,
if you don't want spoilers, out the door. Tune
Yeah.
back after you see it.
there you go. So, well, we'll start with the beginning of it. I liked that we didn't get had to spend through like 20 minutes of the basic origin of him leaving Krypton, coming there. It's been done tons of times, so we didn't need to redo that and talked about it all the time. So it's something that if you didn't know about Superman, they covered it enough, even in the beginning in different dialogues that you knew that. I like that they started listing this new DC universe. So a lot of times, like when you see the Christopher Reeve Supermans and the Brandon Roth, there's no other metahumans, no other superpower people really around. They don't talk about like Green Lanterns. They don't talk about, the Hawkman, Hawk Girls, all the different types of super beings that we see in the comics. So I like that they mentioned about 300 years prior is when the first metahumans started showing up. Yeah. And then they kind of go through a bunch of stuff happening, and then it gets down to 30 years ago, Superman lands on Earth. 3 months ago this happened, or 3 years ago this happened.
3 years ago, he revealed he was Superman to the world.
Yep. And then
he came out as Superman.
Yep.
And then, So for me, just like with you, like up to that point, I really liked where they were going with just giving us this quick little synopsis.
Yep.
But then they jumped to 3 minutes ago, Superman got his butt kicked.
Yeah, lost his first battle.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where they made their mistake. I think jumping into the middle of the whole DC universe was a good idea. Because the typical scenario is no matter what the franchise is, like Iron Man, he was the only person in the Marvel universe, and then they slowly kept adding pieces. So here, all the pieces exist already. That part was fine, but I felt like they jumped into the middle of a story arc, and that part I think was wrong.
Yeah, and that was part of the thing with there. I felt we missed some other stuff that I think they could have dealt with. I think and then at the same time, it felt like they were making up for it by doing it again. We already knew it happened. Now we're going to show it to you the second time this happened. And this is fight with what do they call him? The Butcher of Bulgaria or something like
that. The hammer of like Bulgaria, whatever that fake country was. Bucharest or whatever.
Yeah,
which turned out to be Ultraman inside the armor.
Yeah. Ultraman is basically Superman. That's just give that spoiler right there. So Hammer of Boravia. So where a lot of people are looking at is, this is like our current time as two things. They're looking at this Boravian country and Lothania country, which are not real countries that are back to back, and they're trying to compare it to a mix of Israel and Gaza. That's why I've been seeing a lot of people post about it.
Yeah.
And it's not that at all. But that's the other thing that I believe they screwed up on. They said he did something there. He went and stopped a war, and because people were going to die. And they talk about it. We see a lot of dialogue about this because, it comes up as Clark Kent writing an article. Then it also comes up with Lois Lane interviewing Superman, which is very interesting because she already knows Clark Kent is Superman because they're dating. So
I think where they really missed out on this story is they start with Superman losing, but they kind of gloss over that and then go into the story. If you look in real life, people who are viewed as invincible, their first loss nearly destroys them.
Yeah.
Mentally. Mike Tyson, he was never the same after his knockout. Ronda Rousey, never the same after her loss. There is something about the mindset of going into fights feeling you are invincible. And then someday you find out you're not.
Yeah.
And what does it take to overcome that? And I think they missed out analyzing that aspect of Superman.
I agree with you on that. I think that, the thing we know of Superman is really he was ultra invincible for years, except if Kryptonite was around. It always weakened him. And then what it came to in the comics was creating a character called Doomsday.
Right.
That basically killed Superman.
Right.
Or so we think, because they brought him back. The death of Superman, and then basically he came back after he healed and whatever else. But even then he didn't remember who he was for a while, and they dealt with all that. But that's again here we've not. I think this whole story they did should have been over a couple movies, but done like so differently. And one thing is, he should have lost at the end of this main film, and he should have lost, to the hammer. Actually, I think they could have got rid of that whole country storyline. That was not even needed because the Hammer of Boravia is being controlled by Luther, and that's not a secret. You can see it, and it's interesting how they control them. They control them like there's like 50 people playing Fortnite with one character.
Right. Yeah. Lex Luthor basically is yelling out the strategy while his team is programming the moves.
Yeah.
To me, the way I would have restructured this movie is this movie should have been a 2-part movie. The first half, open up with that giant kaiju and show Superman as invincible, defeating it.
Yep.
And then showing the adoration for him and everything else. Then if you want the storyline with this country, we show him stopping the war, and then we see Lex building animosity against him for stealing what he was going to do, for stopping what he was going to do. So then Lex gets Ultraman. You don't need this Hammer of Boravia thing. Just have Ultraman part of it. And then it leads up to a big final battle where, as an audience, we know Superman's going to win, but he loses. And it ends with him losing. Then the next movie is him psychologically destroyed, like, who am I, questioning his reality, and having his parents get involved to build him back up.
Yeah. And
this is who you are. And then he goes back and wins. Instead, they destroyed the heritage of Jor-El and his mom and Krypton.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. For the most of the film, he lives by the creed of what they gave him, which is you go there, do good, you save, you help the people, and then supposedly there's another half of this message after it's Luther's minions. One is she's all nanites basically, and she can basically break into his computer, and then she finds the message and restores it, though it's supposedly corrupted that Superman can never get it fixed. And then the last half is basically saying he needs to just take over the planet and breed with as many women as he can and rebuild the Krypton race.
Yeah, it's like that. I guess there is one part of Superman lore where this comes from, and I know where he got it from now. It comes from Smallville. In Smallville, the show Smallville, there was something about that, but I guess, if I'm understanding the readings right, it turned out to be a test from his parents. And James Gunn has admitted his favorite version of Superman is Smallville.
Okay.
So it sounds like he was trying to take that plot from Smallville.
Well, and that it could be to where you could say Smallville now is the pre-origin, and then he, comes forward. But yeah, but the whole thing with that is like, I mean, that's something, if you're going to deal with that, you can't leave that so open at the end of this film. I mean, unless you're going to really deal with the next film, because that degrades what Superman really. Superman was two parts of two sets of parents. One was what he learned from his father and mother on Krypton, that through the training he got when the ship was bringing him, plus what he's able to watch as he got older when he got his Fortress of Solitude and ability to do all that. Number two was how he was raised by Ma and Pa Kent. Right. Which is the other thing that irritated me on this is they try to make when you first see Ma and Pa Kent, they almost try to make them sound like, dumb country bumpkins. Yeah. They don't know how to do anything. She can barely talk on a cell phone and right. I'm like going, make it like she's, I've never done so. At this point in time, I'm sorry. I'm in the stores all the time where there's a lot of old people on their phones all the time, and they talk and act just like the younger folks because everybody's used to this stuff. It's technology. It's out there. It's been there long enough to treat those two characters like basically insinuating they're just dumb country bumpkins. I thought was a disgrace to Ma and Pa Kent.
I agree. That part, like I said to you yesterday, is I felt like that was Hollywood's interpretation of what a true Midwestern was like. Yeah. It's like they never stop by and meet actual Midwestern. So this is their view. We're oversimplified people who don't understand technology. And it's like, come on.
And it's an older couple.
Cartoony.
Yeah, it's an older couple, but at that, it's like it was 35 years ago. I could have maybe said, okay, I can kind of see that a little bit.
Yeah, but they'd have to be 120 years old.
And they had heavy heavy, especially the Ma Kent, heavy Southern accents that didn't fit Kansas as much.
I agree. Yeah, that was too cartoony of a caricature of trying to degrade. I felt also. I do think though the essence of the Paul Kent's talk with Superman.
Later on, there's
good.
a talk after Superman's basically he's been defeated, he's hurt, he's kind of resting at home. I mean, and in fact, nobody knew where he was from. They never knew where Clark Kent really was from because he didn't deal with that at all.
Even Lois didn't know.
Yeah, Lois didn't know, and they've been dating for quite a while at this point. So,
Luann.
Yeah,
that Luann is nice.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. No, they're not stupid people that would do that. So,
I know.
And that irritated me as well. So, but like Paul Kent's played by Pruitt Taylor Vance. He's a character actor, been around for a long time. You'd recognize him for like True Blood, Walking Dead, The Mentalist. He was on Agents of
Supernatural.
S.H.I.E.L.D. He probably popped on Supernatural. He's done a ton of stuff. He's got 109 acting credits.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah, he's a character actor. He was on Stranger Things. He played Ray in 2 episodes. Heroes Reborn. He was on The Mentalist a bunch of episodes.
He's in a lot of things
here. So Hawaii 5-0s he popped on, Bones. So I mean, definitely I've seen this guy around a lot on a lot of different things. So he's been a working actor for many years. And he goes all the way back to like he's in like the Dr. Dolittle movie. He's a patient there and with the dog or whatever. And things like that. He was on the Highlander series for an episode and did Chicago Hope. So he's been around,
Yeah. And
then
the other part I didn't care for. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. The other one was Ma Kent was played by Neva Howe, who I didn't recognize. But she's got some groundling training and she's was in different movies, things like that. So she's got several credits to her name too, as well. Another character actress. So
the other part was these are hardcore farmers. They make their livelihood on the land. Paul Kent is doing the farming, but they made him the emotionally weak one. And of course, Ma Kent is the emotionally strong one. And it's just like, is it just not allowed in Hollywood to portray a manly man? Is it no longer allowed?
Yeah, they made him. Yeah, he's soft. He'll cry. He'll this. The thing is, this Ma Kent was always very strong, but so was Paul Kent. I mean, one of the best uses of Paul Kent was the Kevin Costner in Man of Steel. He was fantastic in that. And then
other
John
than
Schneider,
his death scene.
Yeah, other than his death. And then John Schneider played him in Smallville. It was fantastic. But it's he had a good talk with him, which is the heart-to-heart talk that Superman needed at that moment. But yeah, it was definitely. I felt like they really did disservice. This is one of the things I was disappointed in. This is what I was disappointed was those two characters and not how they were portrayed, but how they were written.
Yeah, had they treated them respectfully, I felt, and not as caricatures, I think it would have been much better. Yeah, I agree on that. I did like Lois Lane overall. I liked. I just didn't like where all of a sudden she knew how to fly this aircraft, this alien, like this spaceship thing, and flying around. And she's the driver.
Well, she did crash a little bit, and I'll give them that. Right away, she wasn't like this expert flyer. But it was Mr. Terrific, a character I really liked in this. Basically told her, anybody flights easy, and she figured it out real quick because it basically is intuitive. But even like when she goes and picks everybody up at the day they plan to go take off, and she messes up and crashes onto the side wall on the roof, and then they fall and then she pulls up. So that I forgave that aspect. I was like, I thought it was ridiculous to have her in that role anyways with that, but I like the actress that played Lois Lane as well.
I thought overall she did good.
Yeah. And they had good chemistry. I will give them that. That was Rachel Brosnahan, and that and I didn't really know who she was for, but she was in the Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Miss Maisel. Oh, that's her. Okay, that's why she looked familiar.
Yeah. So and I
Okay.
knew her from, and I was like, and it took me a little while to recognize her from that because she looks, of course, totally different than that. So, but she's been around a little while. She's done some
Oh
stuff, so
yeah,
she's
that is her. Huh.
yeah. But she was good in this. She was able as Lois Lane. Lois Lane's always been a tough reporter,
Yeah.
and we have a nice scene where she's interviewing Superman, where it shows the tough reporter, which is difficult.
It is funny.
She's actually dating the guy.
Yeah. In the one of the interviews with her, they were talking about how traditionally Lois Lane is a smoker. And she's like, well, we can't have that in a movie anymore. It's like it's so funny how like you'll watch something and it's like death, destruction, and smoking in the warnings. It's like really like I'm sorry, but almost the it's insane the number of people who vape now who are under 30. They're all vaping like crazy. Is smoking really that traumatic of an experience to see on the screen that we need a warning?
Well, we've had it for a long time. I mean, if you look at everything we
Yeah.
watch streaming, it pops up with the warning. It's death,
Yeah.
destruction, smoking, and someone is going to be triggered.
Yes, the flashing lights,
trigger warning. So, well, episode warning is one thing. You got to have that because people got episodes that could definitely cause damage. But
but
things like that.
I think you know that already.
Yeah, but if you don't know it's in a show or something,
I think it's guaranteed to be in an action movie.
Yeah,
Explosions,
yeah,
everything's
so.
boom, 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 boom. I would think so. I don't know.
You would think so. I don't know. But so I mean, she was fine in it. Crypto. We haven't talked about crypto.
Crypto.
We get crypto from the beginning. Crypto's a big part of this whole story too. And I like the way they use crypto, especially in the beginning, stuff like that. The problem I had was Superman's Lex Luthor wants to kill Superman. He had 5 different chances to kill Superman, and he could have easily done it, but he doesn't do it. He monologues too much, and that's where that irritated me as well. It's like you're able to defeat Superman with Ultraman. You did it twice. You're able to go in and destroy his world by hacking his Fortress of Solitude, and then putting his business all out there where he turns himself in, and he's not going to resist arrest because that's what Superman does. And you put him in this sub universe that you had created, and he's basically locked up with all these other people that Lex Luthor hates, tons of people, many ex-girlfriends, things like that, which I thought was just a little ridiculous. But and you got another metahuman that can create anything from his body, basically. Yeah. And he creates kryptonite. Why not just kill him? You wanted him dead anyways. There's nothing, you've captured his dog because that's how you got him. He's looking for his dog. Where's my dog? Oh, it was the dog. He's threatening to beat up Lex Luthor because he wants the dang dog. And stuff like that. And that's where
in there.
I was like, okay, that's fine, but
that whole storyline to me could have been taken out. The whole pocket universe, like it wasn't needed. There was enough story that they could have expanded on with the other stuff, and it became too CGI, too much. It took you out of the reality of the first half of the movie, I felt.
Yeah.
And
then
it just became too crazy.
Yeah, and then the other way they're able to figure it out and see that Luthor is actually bad, because everybody's thinking he's good because he wants to get rid of this alien who could dominate us in this world, is his current girlfriend's been taking selfies through the whole movie, and she wants, because she's actually still in love with Jimmy Olsen, which they hinted at him be some kind of ladies' man early on with 2 girls in the office there. They're not looking at Clark, they're looking at him. And I'm going, I guess he's, I don't know what it is with this guy that they're all,
Well, even Lois is like, I don't know how you do it.
But
she's like, this is your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, and she's a supermodel looking type woman, and she wants to get with him, and she said, I got all the evidence against Lex and all this stuff. I can give it to you if we can get back together for a weekend. And she gives it to him, and he thinks there's nothing there. Well, Lois sees it. Oh yeah, here's this map of this. Oh, here's this. Oh, he's going to turn Lothania into Luthor-ania because he wants to be king of this country, and whatever else. And you watch all this stuff going, as soon as they said the country, I went, it's a land grab again. It's just like the first. It's always Lex Luthor. It's like, come on. They've dealt with him in other stories in the comics and even the animated series stuff. They can do more than just him trying to acquire some country or land, and we're going to make it almost a Dr. Doomish type country is what it sounds like.
Well, the part that doesn't make sense is he's like at Tony Stark Bruce Wayne level of wealth.
And Tony
could just
Stark
buy a place.
and Tony Stark knowledge. Yeah.
Right. He could just buy a place.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need this super ingenious villain plan to take over a place. He could just buy.
Yeah.
Go to some third world country and say, listen, I'll bail you out of poverty if you just give me the rights to your country. Okay.
Yeah.
There, boom. He now runs a country.
Yeah. See, in a lot of ways, the Luthor character should not even have been. You could have him there, but he should not have been the main villain. He should have been in the background, and he's kind of there. And it'd be something you reveal. Oh yeah, he's pulling some strings, but it's not all the strings because he's allowing other things just to happen. And that's where it was again disappointing. Again, storytelling, basic story on that. The other thing with it is when they get everything said and done, it's not Superman that saves the day. It is the Justice Gang, which we haven't even talked about really. That's Guy Gardner, that's Hawkman, or sorry, Hawkwoman, Hawkgirl, yeah, and Mr. Terrific, which I thought when they talked about it, they were not going to be in this story very much. I thought they were just like cameos. They're up through the whole story, and they're an integral part. I mean, they're basically, I could see him. This is one thing I did like. Okay, we're setting up a Justice League. It's a little bit better than just, they did the last time, which like we'll just throw all these people together and say they're the Justice League. So and they hinted at Batman because we see Gotham City on a board on a highway. So
in the Marvel movies, it kind of became this way. Like for instance, Captain America: Civil War. For all intents and purposes, it was an Avengers movie,
right?
Captain America: Civil War, and that's kind of what they did here. This was more like the Avengers of the new DC universe because the other characters were in it so much. And part of the storyline, it really was a group movie, not a Superman movie.
And it's Guy Gardner's character that calls it the Justice Gang, which we know eventually will be changed probably to either Justice League or Justice Society of America, JSA. We had those three characters. And like I said, I like Mr. Terrific a lot. He starts off kind of, you think, okay, he's kind of just there. He's just flying around with his technology. He does this stuff. But they really grew his character through this in terms of revealing him more to you, and you see what he was. And I liked him. He was funny, witty when he got down to it, and everything else he did. But the whole time we go through all this story, and we get to the end, and what I'm looking for is a feeling of, you just like watching, you're intense, you're into it, like, oh my god, and then just a big like, yeah, you got it, kind of like at the end of Avengers Endgame. You had several of those moments. I was looking for one in this. I didn't get it.
It wasn't.
No,
I agree. It fell flat.
Yep.
And I think it goes back to our original complaint, though. They jumped into a middle of a storyline. They jumped over the part that would have given an emotional connection to the character, and they went for the finale. You need to build the foundation. The reason why Captain America: Civil War was so powerful is we had like 10 movies leading up to it between all the different franchises and everything else, and we got to know these characters. They should have allowed us to know Superman a little more, experience defeat, see him go through the struggles, see him overcome it, and then when he wins, that's the yes moment. But instead, I felt they cheapened it and took away that roller coaster ride. So it was just like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it's basically Luthor at this point is with his pocket universe, cranks it up, so he's splitting the world in half almost, and even his own people are like, hey, come on, it's coming right for us, and he basically drops them, and they're basically the room they're in is a ship, so he can just fly and go wherever. But there's still, he's just, they're like, this doesn't seem right, man. This doesn't seem cool. And it's like, oh yeah, where was all this crap earlier from you guys? No, you didn't care.
Yeah.
But again, let's just destroy the world. Basically, cut off your nose to, spite of yourself.
Yeah, and the other part I didn't like too is the whole structure of Luthor Corp. Luthor was relying on everybody in his company. He had thousands of people working for him, and they were all in on this plan. Somebody would have leaked. It's like the girlfriend is the one that leaked because she was mad at him for kicking her out or whatever. Yeah. So she did the leak, but somebody out of all that organization would have had something like, I think what we're doing is wrong. At some point. But instead, they're all super loyal.
And there's always been more to Luther in terms of his conquest. Was never about destruction of the world. It was always about, again, land grabs or having more. And then when Superman interferes, then his goal changes. He wants to get rid of Superman. I mean, heck, they even made him president through some of the different iterations we've seen over the years in comics and animation. But it's, that's one of those things where they didn't really build three things properly. And one was, I felt like we were cheaping with the Superman character. We didn't get the true villain built up. Because that's Luther. The Ultraman character is not a villain. He's just the weapon. So he is really the hammer of Baravia.
He's the hammer of Luther.
Yeah, he's hammer of Luther. And that's it. Yeah. I mean, it's and when they reveal what he is, which here's the spoiler, he is a clone of Superman because Luther's been gathering DNA over the years. That would have been something you build up for a couple movies, even like, and hint at, or, start off with, one thing lead to another. And then when you introduce this, and basically to me, it just came out as it was the Sun Man from Superman for the Quest for Peace,
right? So
is what it felt like, and I was like, oh, okay. So Scott, you had a pretty good theory on who he's going to end up becoming, though.
Yeah. So the way it ended, part of me wonders too if that like black hole area, the void, whatever pocket universe. I wonder if that's also where that dimension where the Kryptonians send them for prison. But anyways,
Phantom
they
Zone.
mentioned that the Phantom Zone. Thank you. There's this black hole that the clone gets sucked into, and my theory is I think he's going to turn into Bizarro in this other realm, and eventually come back as Bizarro. That's my theory. There's different origin stories, but one of the origin stories of Bizarro is somehow he's created by Lex Luthor, which he is in this one. So we'll see if it turns out. A lot of the theories from the little bit we saw of them fighting was people were enhancing it, and it really did with the long hair look like Henry Cavill. So a lot of people were theorizing Cavill was playing Ultraman. Turned out he wasn't. It was Cornsweet playing it. As his own clone, but so we'll see if that comes back as Bizarro down the road. You got off of Crypto really quick. I just want to say too, I was expecting to hate Crypto. I did enjoy him, and like I told Brett yesterday, I think Crypto is Brett's dog. If Brett's dog could fly and be a superhero dog, it's exactly how he would act.
Yeah, and he acted like a dog. He didn't listen. He wanted to play all the time. Like when Superman calls him at the beginning. At the beginning is what we saw, the teaser where Superman's landing in the snow and Crypto take him to the. But he comes and pounces on Superman, hurts him a little more because Superman's already got broken stuff and that. And I see we've kind of glossed over this whole thing with the spoilers. There's a lot within this movie that's going on, but the Crypto really isn't even. It's always been Superman's dog. And this one iteration, it's actually Supergirl's dog because she comes back from partying in other galaxies or with solar systems with red suns because they can't get drunk in the yellow sun. So she shows up and she's got her Supergirl outfit on and picks up her dog and thanks her cousin for watching the dog. So that's kind of the slight teaser for the Supergirl movie that's coming out.
Yeah. I forgot. Crypto was previously played by Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
In that animated movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they did an animated series of Crypto, which I liked that a little bit. It was fun. Yeah. And Crypto's been around for a long time and stuff like that. But yeah, so the teaser for the next movie was before the credits. It's the Supergirl teaser. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is what they're going in, and there's a comic book series on that. It's going to be an edgier Supergirl than what some people probably think it should be. But they've done that throughout the different things. So it's the premise, it says here, is celebrating her 21st birthday. She travels across the galaxy with her dog Crypto. So Crypto will make an appearance there, during which she meets the young Ruthie Mary Knoll and goes on a murderous quest for revenge. So this sounds interesting. So,
yeah.
And then supposedly David Krumholtz will play her father, Zor-El. Emily Beecham will play her mother, Laura N.Z. Eve Ridley plays Ruth Mary Knoll. And so this is going to be a outer space type movie. So we'll see. Again, this is all still speculation because we haven't seen anything finished, but I know they've been working on the movie. So so
I was quickly reading too the backstory of Crypto. There's different versions of him. Typically, he is Superman's dog, but some of the versions are Crypto was created by Brainiac as a trap for Superman, making Superman believe it was a dog from Krypton. Another version is he was a guard dog in the Phantom Zone. And so when Krypton got destroyed, he was trapped in the Phantom Zone and eventually got out in a jailbreak. So there's different versions, it looks like.
Yeah, he was basically a test subject for the rockets, and Superman passed him, and that's also there's a thing too with different iterations of Supergirl was supposed to get here before Superman. But something happened with her rocket, and she got here after he was already Superman, and he was like 30s, and she's again teenager is what they had done before. So
it sounds like she was partying on a red sun planet.
Probably, yeah.
Instead of watching this one here.
So. Yeah. Well, the last thing is what we didn't cover was that you see them when they first get to the Fortress of Solitude is he has a bunch of robots. He calls them all by numbers. They're not, and they even mention right away that none of them have any emotions or any sentient being. They just are workers.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're actually going that route where they are becoming sentient because they do get decimated in a battle. And towards the end, he calls the one number 4, and he goes, why don't I have a name? Well, you never need a name. It could be something like Gary. So he calls him Gary. You know, and that stuff. So I think that I could see that being the lead to eventually Brainiac.
Yeah, I thought that was a good theory. We were talking about that yesterday. My theory was the engineer from tapping into the Kryptonian computer was going to become Brainiac. Plus, that always fits Hollywood's version of always turning everything into female characters. But I do think I like your theory better. After you mentioned, because like he was just stabbing himself in the head. It was showing he was like miswired somehow, like from the damage. And then Superman stops him and then fixes him. But it definitely, him desiring a name shows some new level of sentience.
Right. So, and that'd be interesting to see if they go that route with that, or are they going to be something else,
Right.
Because Brainiac's been showing us different things. So,
yeah.
But
overall, I like I said, I liked it for a one-time view. I like it for what it is. A lot of times origin or the first movie in anything or first season in the TV series can be a little rocky.
Yeah.
Hopefully they learn from this and build on it better.
Yeah. And as much as people are talking about how much they love it, the film is still was an okay hit over the weekend. So this weekend coming up will be the pinnacle. And then next week, I will be in San Diego for Comic-Con, and I'll be curious to see if people are talking about it while we're there.
That's going to be the test. Yeah.
Because Fantastic Four comes out next week too. But right now, worldwide is 232 million for Superman. It was only 95 million international. The drop off though, from
that's
Friday,
gonna be the test.
Well, Friday to Saturday, the drop off was 33%.
Okay, that's a lot for an opening weekend.
Yeah, and then Sunday was another 16.8%, and then Monday 58.8.
What's the typical drop off for second weekends? Is it like 60%? And if it's higher than that, it's considered bad. Like 70
I think it's like 40 to 50% is considered good. But you start hitting 60, 70 actually, higher. I think even 60 they may consider it kind of high. So.
But I think what we're going to see is the strength of the name is going to be the opening weekend. It always is, the anticipation. But second week tells you, are people seeing it a second time? Is word of mouth generating excitement for it? That's what second week sales tell you.
Now, looking at the How to Train Your Dragon live action, it opened on Friday the 13th, and then Saturday there was a 24% drop, so not as much Superman, and then 14% on Sunday, so not as much. That was, I believe, Father's Day weekend. Monday's always a big drop, and that's tough because people going back to work and that stuff. That Tuesday being a discount Tuesday day somewhere, it jumped 41%, so it went from like 8 million on Monday to 12 million on Tuesday, and then dropped 30% for Wednesday again, and then was back up on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the previous days. But the Friday it was down from the week before 69%, then 45% for Saturday and 51% for Sunday, and then steadied around 40 something percent the next week.
Okay.
So it's had steady declines since then in that 40 to 50%. But I think the big tell was, you're looking at 24% on a Friday to Saturday drop for How to Train Your Dragon, and then Superman was a 33%. So
now
it just seems like a lot.
Or could it be that Superman had a much higher preview night?
It's possible.
Wednesday, Thursday night.
They're not showing any Thursday numbers on Box Office Mojo for some reason.
Okay.
Just the Friday, but Thursday would have been a preview night, which I know they had them.
Yeah.
And then and then Friday to Saturday, I said, there's always a drop off because
there is.
People want to go opening night to see movies right away. I gotta see it. Boom, it sells out and that stuff. And so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens this weekend. Realistically, I mean, you're looking at for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what was it, 125 million, I think is what it is, or something like that. Yeah, 125 million for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Realistically, this movie should, if it's going to be a hit and continue on doing well, it needs to probably do about 80 million on the weekend. If it's less than that and declining fast, it's going to be considered kind of not a hit, though they're trying to insinuate it as a hit, which again, I think the big problem is what you said. You only want to go see it once. You've done it. You won't see it again. If this movie had that where you want to cheer for Superman at the end, you just you feel good about what happened there. People go see it over and over again. I've seen people say, I'm going to go see it again because it was the greatest thing ever. And a lot of the reviews are centered on one thing or another, like crypto or something else. Nobody's really talking about the basic story.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the whole thing on that. And so that's my take on it.
How full was the theater when you went? Was it packed?
No, I went at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was at the EMAX, which is I wanted to go early because of just the way my day ended up not being the day I was going to have yesterday with prepping stuff for San Diego. I ended up having a couple of my regulars get a hold of me and ended up working yesterday, which I wasn't going to turn down that kind of money because I made as much in 2 shops as I did in 6 shops on Monday. So,
so we went.
I went early because I wanted to go early and see it early.
We went to the 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Now Tuesdays are great family days because being $5, we had tons of kids in ours. Yeah. So it was packed, and it was a lot of families. But like your theater, when it was over, there was no cheering, no applause, no excitement. No. I felt like it was just
after the Supergirl scene, which is right before the credits. Half the people got up and walked out, and there was probably about 7 of us, 8 of us that stayed through the entire credits. But nobody cheered, nobody clapped. And usually, even when I've been in theaters, there's only been a few of us. There's usually someone like, "Yeah, that was great." Nobody. And that to me is a telltale sign on.
And it was quiet walking out. Usually, you hear people like. The part I hate is when I'm walking into a movie and the people leaving are all excited and they're all talking about it. It's like, spoilers! I don't want to hear it. I didn't get any of that from this. So, like I said, it was a meh. It was okay. I'm bored. Yeah. Saw it for $5. It was worth it for $5.
Yeah. I just, I'm really hoping that they fix the whole thing with his parents. The next story iteration coming out of that will be something a little more. I mean, they're setting up more for Luthor to become this ultimate bad guy and break out of jail and all that stuff. And if you're going to kind of go that route, there's a lot of other stories they could tell and work through. And it's kind of where anymore. It's like I haven't watched like that last Superman Lois series that was on. It just ended. But that one, when I watched a little bit of that one, I liked it better. They had their kids, so they were older. It was a neat iteration of that. I loved Smallville when it was on. The problem with Smallville was they could never put him in the suit until the last episode. That was the agreement. So he had to be the Blur and everything else. And also is part of the reason I think that series ended that was just on the CW is DC always considers anything on TV competition for their movies, and it's not.
Yeah. No, fans understand the difference.
That's why they canceled the Justice League cartoons, years ago. Was because it's competition against the stuff coming out, and so we're getting ready to launch the Zack Snyder.
That's why they destroyed the Arrowverse.
Yep,
they too. you're in the middle of a great story arc, but we have to cancel all that story arc. You got to come up with something new because we're going to have Suicide Squad come out.
Yeah. So that's good. And that's where I think part of the problem is still the Warner Brothers DC mentality of making movies. Even with James Gunn coming in, they still kind of have this, that's just nothing, everything's competition, even our own stuff. And it's like, no, enhance it, work with it.
Yep. I agree.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it here too. Nothing else.
All right. Well, we'll see what's going on next week. If we feel we can do the, if I can hop on a podcast with you, like we've done before.
When do you leave?
I leave Monday.
Monday. Okay. Cool.
Yep. We're going to take Tuesday. So we're going to leave Monday afternoon. Tuesday is going to be a day to kind of just, we're renting a car and just kind of checking out part of the area we never really get to check out and enjoying some of it. Got my buddy Joel coming out from Pittsburgh. So hanging out with Joel for the week. He's going to be there, bouncing around doing stuff. And
nice.
Looking forward to that because I haven't seen Joel in several years. I was glad he was asked if he wanted to come out, and we got him in on our pro badge. And then only thing I asked to him was that if we end up getting, if Kevin still could possibly still get an art salad table, it's it gets harder and harder as we get closer nowadays. But if he gets an art salad table, one or two of the spots is if he once in a while can just check on us for bathroom breaks. Yeah. But right now, looking forward to hanging out with Kevin, Joel. We're gonna be promoting all the new stuff we got out there. So we'll have the trades for Crimson Shadows. We'll have trades for Pose. We'll have a bunch of Last Lights. Kevin's been doing a ton of remarks on some Last Lights that look fantastic. And several other F words Kevin likes to drop. And we're gonna have that available. We'll have pins. Yeah. Yeah. It starts with a fa and a Q. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to continue to promote what we're doing with Bardstone because we got a lot of cool things going on with that. So, and we'll be getting some more stuff announced pretty soon. That's coming out through all of us here soon.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, take care.
Take care.
Bye.